Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Vibrations of Truth. Today, we are going to talk about being a spiritual being and the limitless potential that we have when we recognize that and we own that. I am Jen Smith, and Michelle Bowen is my co host. Good morning, Michelle. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing great. Good to see you.
Good to see you too. Good to see you too. So we're going to dive in with some questions. I know we talk a little bit about the cosmos. There's been so much that's happening energetic wise over the last month with the Lions Gate, a lot of shifts happening. That's always a big moment for me because we're always spiraling upwards, always more and more. There's always more and better that we can grow into. So, today we're going to be talking more about us being spiritual beings, our divine beings, the limitless potential that we have. And so, let's get started with that, Michelle. We've been talking a lot about integrating our new belief systems that we're creating because we are the divine creators of our life and integrating that with our behavior. We discussed that quite a bit last week. And today we're just moving into our spirit as being spiritual beings in our divine nature. So what's coming up for you this week?
Right. Well, I've actually had several things coming up for me. One, though, that I kind of want to touch on with you and just kind of would love more explanation on really is um, to your point, speaking of praxis and integrating our beliefs and our behavior was like success, right? And just how at one point, success, I guess people were perceived to have luck if they're successful, right? Or they inherited it or whatever else. But um, that's not necessarily the truth. So I just wanted to maybe see if you would touch on a little bit, I guess, the divine law, because that's in play in all things. And I just would like to hear more about that and how it relates to um, how you become successful, not so much being lucky.
Oh,
Does
yeah,
that make
yeah,
sense?
that was one of the articles that we touched upon that successful people are not lucky. It doesn't happen just by chance, right? Successful people, and the definition of success is moving towards a worthy goal, the progression towards a worthy goal. So we set our goals really high, a really stretch goal for ourselves because that helps us pull the essence of who we are to the surface, all of our abilities, all of our talents, um, the more divinity to the surface whenever we go for those stretch goals. So if we just have that progression towards a goal, that is a good definition for success that we keep going because if we're not growing, we're disintegrating. You're going one way or the other. So we're all here to grow. And so luck is not something that successful people have. It's they're creating one way I like to look at it is we create our luck and it's by how we move through life. It's the energy that we put out. It's the good energy. Whatever you put out comes back to you. So successful people are on a growth path because they're moving um, towards better, towards bringing their divine nature to the surface.
Okay. We're just talking a little bit. There's an extension of that thought process besides the divine law, just about how aligning your mind and your body with the laws, is the way to go for you to have any kind of successful, well balanced life. You need to align your mind and body with those laws.
The
What does
mind
that look
body.
like? Can you give me an
Well,
example?
the body is an instrument of the mind. So the body's going to tell us exactly what's going on in our lives if and it could be through our thought processes. It could be whatever we are,
Yeah.
mentally, emotionally, physically, our body will always tell us what's going on. And we have to have that mind-body alignment. It all goes back to the thoughts, feelings, and actions because we can feel it. Everything has an energetic charge. So what are we thinking about? Is that a positive? Are we thinking about positive things? Are we thinking about growth? Are we thinking about the wonderful things in life? Or are we focused on problems? We're thinking about what we want or what we don't want, right? So we want to be in alignment with
Right.
that positive, energetic charge. We want to be thinking about what we want. Or really, another big key is just be in the present moment. Be in presence. Be in presence because whenever
Right.
we're in the now moment, everything just flows so smoothly. When we're in the now moment, the vibration of your body is at ease. It's in a natural rhythm. It's at a natural pace. But whenever we get engaged, with ideas or with problems, then that throws our body out of whack also. Sometimes whenever we're moving along and we're growing and we've really have grown, sometimes it takes a little while for the physical to catch up to us. It's like we have to keep up with our energy expansion, and we have to integrate that, and we have to have
Right.
presence, and we need to integrate that, which is a great topic to talk about too, is how do we integrate these new expansions that we moved into?
Yeah. I love it. I love that you're saying that, just touching on just the way that you are believing the things that you're thinking and how that's impacting you. I'm living, that's a lived experience for me as far
Mhm.
as the beliefs that I've held and the way that I sort of move through life and how that has been, impacted my health in a way. And so that's something that I'm working through right now, actually, and on the upswing of that, and doing well, and kind of coming back together. But I think it was sort of timely that all of these lessons kind of came at the same time as all of those things happening. God is pretty good about doing that for me. Who would have known he would have slowed me
Always.
always, yeah. It would have slowed me down, so that I had the time to be able to actually really reflect and put into practice the things that I'm learning to undo the beliefs and replace those beliefs with something healthier, so that I can move through life in a healthier way, which then my body doesn't respond in the way that it did before. So I very much see the connection, literal connection in my life right now,
Mhm.
and how that's impacted me. And it really, at the very root of it, was the beliefs that I had to deal with, and face, and create new ones around. And I'm very fortunate that I was given sort of a reset. And yeah, and now I feel like it's like a take two. Like I can go and approach life differently now, and I'm very grateful for that. So lots of
Yeah,
lots.
I can relate what you're saying as well. Whenever you start to change your belief systems, realizing, "Oh, we are divine beings. Our potential is limitless. There is no box. Like, we are able to do anything, anything." So that phrase, "Whatever you believe you can achieve," is so true. So think big, really, really big, because whatever we believe is what we can achieve. And the mind body and the vibrations, I think a little bit of what we're talking about too is that we have developed new beliefs in our conscious mind thinking, okay, yeah, I believe this, I can do this. But there's still some beliefs in the subconscious mind that's kind of interfering with that. So until we have those completely aligned, which we
Yeah,
know how to do, we know what work we need to do to get that in alignment. So until that's completely in alignment, the vibrations can feel a little off. Like your body's catching up to your mind, but once you're in alignment, then everything flows smooth and easy. Um, but yeah, I think that's might be what you're feeling.
Yes, that's 100% me. 100% what I'm feeling.
And I know how that feels because we all go through that whenever we have this new recognition of, "Oh, wow, there's much more truth out there than what we've ever been taught." And, we move forward, and once we recognize that and we realize it because it's a knowing. It's a knowing. It's not like, "Oh, we're gonna believe this because we want to." It's a but it comes in as a knowing, like, you know truth when you hear it. You can feel it in your bones. And that's why you move forward with it, and then, now we're trying to now that we know the limitless potential that we have and moving forward with bringing in this beautiful dream, this beautiful life because we can think so big and achieve anything, now it's working on the belief systems that are in the subconscious mind. So that's what we've been through, but now it's like, okay, now is the time because we've worked through that whole process
Yeah,
and now it's the real alignment.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
exciting.
It is exciting, and just putting things into practice, because as your beliefs are stronger, obviously, and you're moving forward in the ways that you should. Well, I say should, in the ways that are better for you,
Mhm.
um, and aligned. You still have to deal with some things that come up. So that's also, like, interestingly enough, I feel like over the last 2.5, maybe 3 weeks, like, just random things will come up for me, and they're really not even related to what I'm dealing with or what's going on in my world. And I think it's just a matter of being able to recognize, process through them, or whatever. And so those are things I'm doing, putting all your tools and strategies into play and working through those, not creating stories around whatever comes up, staying
Well,
present.
I think
That
that was good. Like you said, things are coming up.
Yeah,
And that's those, deep down emotions that are still there. So they're bubbling to the surface. You're becoming aware of them,
yeah,
recognizing them, and now you have the tools to just clear them. And it's kind of like a cleansing process, right? Because we've went through life and we
yeah,
just stuff so many emotions down. And I hear people talk about trauma all the time, and trauma can come in just really small forms too. It's not like,
yeah,
not everyone has huge traumas that they have to overcome, but there can be small emotional things that happen just like when you're a child at school that still remains in your subconscious mind that has to come up and you got to clear it. So so those are the
yeah,
things that are happening and, that's happening, and a lot of times that'll happen when you are moving towards that new goal, and now you have this belief system, you're doing the work, and there's some things that are coming up because it's just not aligning with your new belief system.
right. Right. That's exactly what it is. It isn't, and I guess the best part of that is that, I have the opportunity to practice. It every time you come up, it gives me the opportunity, honestly, to reinforce my new belief system, and to kind of, squelch the things that are coming up, and not completely dismiss or restuff or anything like that, but just be able to release them. I think
Mhm.
finally release them and let go of them, because I feel very strong and secure in the new beliefs in the moving forward. And yeah, I think that's kind of nice that they
How
just
do
blow
you
up every
feel? How
once
do
in a
you
while,
feel
and you can
whenever
do that.
you feel that release? Like you're just letting go of that. How does that
Yeah,
can you describe? Do you have a feeling with that?
the actual release part, I think, when it's happening, for me personally, I really, you've never asked me that question, so give me just a second thinking about it. But um, I think it feels lighter. It's like less of something to carry, right? I don't have to carry
Mhm.
all the things. I think you don't realize the amount of things that you take on and carry that really aren't necessary. And it genuinely, sorry, weighs you down, weighs you down spiritually, weighs you down mentally, emotionally. Um,
What about
and
in
it
your
really
body?
does.
Do you feel
I
it
feel a little
physically
bit
in
of,
your body as well?
yeah,
Yeah.
yes. Also, to just time and delving into this stuff, what feels lighter to me, I feel lighter knowing and calmer and more at peace knowing that I can now approach things in a different way, um, because I shifted what I think about it and
Mhm.
have internalized something completely different. And that's lighter, right? It's less pressure on me. My body is healing. My body is shifting. The response I get to think when I think about moving forward is excitement versus heaviness.
Mhm.
And it used to feel really, really heavy and really there was a lot of resistance in my body, a lot of resistance in my mind, um, because I was just the beliefs were just not aligned at all. So it's
Yeah,
only been
getting to that place of non-resistance is when
yeah,
everything flows, everything feels good, everything manifests very quickly.
yeah. I
It's
think it's
so
nice to remind yourself to nice to be reminded you are a divine being and you know all things are possible. Like I think I've known that. I've approached a lot of things in my life in that way, but not everything. There are things that I've had
Mhm.
belief systems around that have I've held myself back or played smaller than I should. And so those are the things that really are being released right now. So grateful for that.
Yeah, and that surprises me a little bit because you are you have so many phenomenal experiences through your meditations. So
Yeah,
you have tapped into a lot of things with the possibilities that's available for us and with the
yeah,
healing, with all of these things we're talking about. You know that, and,
yeah.
and to me, that was a really big way of believing whenever I first realized who we really are and what we're capable of doing. And
Hmm.
then and then as I believed it and stepped forward and moved towards this path, things started happening, right? And so my belief system just spiraled upwards. So your belief system has to be huge, does it not? I mean, because you've already seen so much.
Yes. It's kind. That's a great point. But maybe that's maybe kind of confusing. But I have seen a lot. I have, and I the great thing is like I've experienced these things throughout my whole life and just not really understood them. And now I have a better understanding of what's happening. Not completely by any means, but these things are happening, and I guess I understand the significance of them now. Um,
Mhm.
but yeah, it is kind of weird how my brain separates or has separated, and maybe that's part of the injury. I don't really know, but separated some of those things out and not applied it across the board. I think maybe the belief systems that I had about a certain aspect of my life, as far as like my capabilities or the professional kinds of things, like there are just things I'm bumping into that have been so deep inside me, um, that it was conflicting. I think I did for a very long time resist all of my natural abilities and all the things that were probably trying to come in, um,
Mhm.
and now that's opening up for me more and more. So
Well, good, good.
yeah.
So you would agree that we are completely guided?
Oh yeah. Yes. 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 Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing how the universe just unfolds everything that you need at the right time. Like, I mean, I'm emotional when I think about it, just because I clearly needed the resistance and the way that I was thinking and feeling and how my body was responding and all the medical things that were coming up in me lined up perfectly and led right into all the things that I'm learning right now, the tools, the strategies. Here you go, Michelle. Here are the things that you really need to hear right now that will equip you and change that. And it feels like it's the final, final movement before I can accept and fully move into the, who I am, the acceptance of who I am. And that is all just unfolded literally over the last few months. And it was just I was led back, back to you for this program. So yeah, the timing is divine. The timing is just right, and I do believe I'm being guided all the time. Yeah.
Yeah. That's one of the things we talked about, trusting your path, you
Yeah.
know, the doubting. One, releasing have you released the doubt that do you truly know you're a divine being? That was the first thing, right? And then the second thing that we talked about was, knowing that your path was exactly right for you. So releasing any doubts along the way of what had happened in the past, because there were so many learnings throughout our life that kind of get us to this point now
Hmm.
that we're at. So it's being okay
Right.
with all of that and, looking at everything as a blessing, really.
Yeah. Right. Like we said before, we were being equipped,
Yeah.
right? We were being equipped the whole time. Um, for now. We were being equipped for all the things along the way. You get a little bit, you experience things, you kind of go to another level, and then you get a little bit more, and you go to another level, and it's just a natural progression, all of it to shape you
Mhm.
to who you're, supposed to become. And yeah, I'm grateful for those things. I can look back on that, and I don't very often reflect on a lot of that, but um, because I know, all of those things, but it is when we talk about it, I see them as lessons and good teacher. I had a lot of good teachers. I was a good teacher to some, and those lessons were absolutely needed and
Yeah.
equipped me for
Your
now.
light
So
our
thankful
lives
for
are
all
a
of it.
lesson, aren't they? Like a mirror, you can learn a lot,
Yes.
and as we walk through life, we learn a lot about ourselves for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
meditation, um, anything that you wanna touch upon there? I know, like, we talked a little bit about, we're expanding, so we're we're expanding, our conscious awareness is raising, that expansion's happening for our life, and then we've got to integrate that. We've got to integrate all of that expansion, um, and there's different ways to do that. Meditation for me is one way to do it. So I just have a habit of, doing the meditation every morning. How do you integrate these things in that? Well, let me say this. So through meditation, not only are we learning here on the physical plane, but I learn a lot too through meditation. And to integrate those pieces of learning, to integrate the pieces of information that I received spiritually is being able to integrate that in some way. And, so journaling works really well for me. So after meditations, I get shown things. I get guidance through, hearing things, being told things, and I write that down in my journal because I feel like you have to anchor that into the physical world somehow, and it has to move through your body. So just bringing that through, writing it down on a journal helps get that through your body and anchored more into the earthly plane. But then also just living it through your behavior and what you've learned and putting it into to practice in your everyday life.
Right.
What are some of the ways you integrate your learnings and
Yeah.
your we talk about new belief systems, but
Yeah.
just learnings in general?
I think a lot of it, honestly, is I do journal. I do journal quite a bit. I also meditate. Um, and then write things down. Anytime I'm getting anything like that, I'm writing it down. But I think those things help me to process one, and kind of anchor those things in. But practice, really, I think the biggest one for me truly is just daily practice. If I am doing that, that becomes automatic. That's super important to me, that, I'm less of the old things are there and more of the new grounded aligned things are there. And
Mhm.
so I would say that's probably the number one thing for me, that I'm practicing every single day, to the best of my ability, to catch the catch myself in any kind of old thought process or anything that comes up, and or any situation that would normally cause me any kind of, negative reaction or strife or anything like that, and really just stop it in its tracks. And it's a very conscious, purposeful
Yeah.
way of moving through life, and that's what I need. That's how I operate. That's what I need.
Yeah, it is. It is.
So
I love that you're saying that because we have to become aware of what our thoughts even are so we can change them, right? Um,
yeah,
and I just think back, I mean, I think that is really profound whenever you can become aware, right? That's a huge step, becoming aware of everything that's coming up because sometimes, life can get you so busy that you don't even know what you're thinking sometimes because you're going from this task to that task to this task, and we're not really thinking, we just got a lot of mind clutter that's going on.
yeah,
So the being purposeful and understanding what you just described is is excellent. It's huge.
yeah. Yeah, I think the true test for me is coming up, because I'll be going back into work and the work life and interacting in that way. And I have to tell you, like, I feel pretty good about it. I
Good.
feel like I can do that. I My big goal, honestly, was to be able to have, um, peace in all the things that I'm doing, no matter what the
Mhm.
situation. And I really feel way more equipped to do that right now. And I just want to make sure that nothing is upsetting that as much as possible. Like, not trying to manipulate things or maneuver things, but just move through life
Mhm.
intentionally, and, stay as present as I can be, and deal with one thing at a time, and be grateful for what that is, and just kind of try to move like that. And that just seems kind of maybe odd and regimented or whatever when I'm saying it out loud, but it won't always be that way, right? So I think the practice is getting me to where I ideally want to
Mhm.
be, and I'm happy for that.
Well, good
So
because you are the creator of your reality, no matter what you're doing, right? So it's not so much of what people do, it's how they do it, right? It's how they move through their service jobs, anything that they're doing out in the world is how they're going about it. What energy are they putting into it? What intentionality? All the tools that you have now
yeah,
to have fun
yeah,
and live a joyful life.
yeah. And so that you just brought up fun and joy. Okay, so I have to choose those things
Mhm.
too, because when you're moving, if I'm talking about moving and it seems like very regimented and everything else, like, it does feel that way sort of for me. But I also love feeling joy, and I also love, doing the things that I like, and all of that. So I've got to balance all of the things. And, yeah, so bringing that up just brought up a little bit something in me, because I want that. I don't want a life without joy. I want to have joy in all the things
Mhm.
that I do, and that is a choice, right? You can
Joy
choose
is a
joy. I
choice.
think you told me
Yes,
that one time. Joy
absolutely.
is a choice.
Yes, it is.
Joy is a choice. So I want to do it, and be joyful as I'm
Mhm.
doing it.
Mhm.
So
All right, well,
gotta be an adventure.
Thank you for your time this morning, and I'm excited to see what happens moving forward
Yeah,
with,
yeah.
how you're implementing this into your work life and your personal life and how you're feeling. So, thank you for sharing your story with us and your transformation and everything that goes along with it. So, anything else you'd like to add before we go for today?
I don't think so. I think we've said everything that I would like to share today, but just grateful
Okay.
again for the opportunity to do that. So thank you.
Yeah. Very good. Well, thank you. All right, everyone. Thanks for joining, and we will see you next week. Until then, happy manifesting.